Alright folks, we're inside the Pontiac G8 here. I'll tell you what year it is in a minute. The lady is having an issue, evidently, with a check engine light, which was on when I pulled it in, and she took it to a shop with or without tab shift. We're gonna go without. They told her they looked at it, diagnosed it, and she needed a mass airflow sensor. So she got one right here. Put it in, had the codes cleared. Naturally the light came back on immediately. Went back to that shop and they told her she needs an air filter. So she has one of those here, wants me to put the air filter in. I suggested that instead of just mindlessly, diagnosing and just heaving parts at it, I said, why don't we take a look at it and see. Fortunately, the lady was wise enough to hang on to the original mass airflow, which we'll likely end up putting back in. But I'm kind of curious to see what issues she has. Now, she did mention one thing. This car had sat for about 3 months, 2 or 3 months, I think she had said, in her garage. She had some sort of procedure done, wasn't able to drive, knee surgery or something like that. And then it was immediately upon getting the vehicle out of the garage and driving it, first day she drove it, light came on. So that possibly could be a clue. So let's look at our report here. And I say that because that's when, rodents tend to move in. Okay, so we have a P0102, 522, 523. So something going on with the engine oil pressure sensor circuit being low and high. That generally is a failed sensor. When you start seeing that where, one day it's high, one day it's low. Sounds like some people I know. Okay. Or it's something else going on. But anyhow, let's look at this 102 code. Let's just go right into the engine controller. Let's go to live data. Let's see if this mass airflow is even reporting here. Let me just fire it up. Let's see, what do we want? Induction probably. Okay, mass airflow is there. And there. Well, lady, I don't think you have a problem with your mass airflow. Oops. Switch our units here. Grams per second is 0, and mass airflow frequency is 0 hertz. So likely we're missing some power or ground or something there. Let's just go back here. Let's just go to engine. Let's see if we can find a PID here for oil pressure. Oil. Let's type in oil. Oh yeah, 129.0, 129.0. So there's your problem, lady, right there too. It's either all or nothing with this Chevy, isn't it? Either 130, so it is high and it is low. Pretty curious. Let's jump up the R's. Red oil light just came on. All right. Let's lower the engine R's here. Yeah, I think we probably just have a wonky sensor. It seems that the lower pressure, lower engine RPM, it seems to kind of work, if you will. But as soon as we bring it up to a higher engine oil pressure, it goes to 0. Boy, it takes a long time for that light to come on. Yeah, then the oil pressure light comes on. So obviously the engine has oil pressure. And that's obvious for 2 reasons. A, we don't hear it going clang, 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 clang. And B, oops, wrong finger. She drove here with it and it didn't explode. There's my diagnosis on that. All right, let's go have a look at the mass airflow and see what's up. It's there, it's plugged in. Man down. Let's go get that. Slippery little sucker. Just kind of visual inspection here on the harness. Semi-visual. Visual but with touchy-feelies. These old GMs, let me get a mirror there. All the wiring loom would just disintegrate and they were real prone to rubbish. It's where a wire rubs on something. So I'm just going to look here on the bottom of this harness before we go mixing the wires up. Definitely have some wires up there, nothing down bare, but boy, they're not long for the world. I'll look here also where it's rubbing on this pipe. Okay, there's still a little bit of tape there. Rubbing through on that plug wire. It goes down and around. Alright, well, I don't see anything super obvious. Reeks like antifreeze. A lot of mouse turds down here. So I do see mouse turds. So there's that. Let's just see if there's anything hiding under here that helpful. Got some mouse turds under there. Got a bunch of insulation here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we found rodent damage, but right offhand I don't see anything. So at this point, let's see what we're missing. Should be just your standard mass airflow with intake air temp sensor built in. So let's grab a diagram and see what's up. And then plan our diagnosis from there. We got the glasses. We got the light. Alright, I just printed out all the wire diagram. Oh, okay, mass airflows are on the first page. So we have a ground, and then we have our signal wire, and then we should have a power. So there's what the mass airflow looks like. So yeah, ground, signal wire, and then power. And then the other two wires are going to be for the intake air tank. Let's see. Let's just go for our power and ground. Let's see where that comes from. Number 25. That goes over here, goes up. Okay, it goes to a fuse. Mission 1, fuse 6, 10 amp. So that is the fuse. This right up here, mission 1, fuse 6, 10 amp. I doubt that fuse is blown. It looks like it feeds 1, 2, 3, 4 different wires. That goes over to number 2. Number 2 goes, yeah, that goes to the purge solenoid, and then the other power wires probably feed other things. How profound. I would assume if we had a blown fuse, we would have a host of codes for, you know, purge valve and such. So let me just cut that key on. Okay, the key is in the full cut on position at this point. Let's unplug this little guy and see what we're missing. We're missing power, missing ground. Let me go grab a test light. It's a 10 amp circuit, so we're just gonna go full nuclear here. Pink with black and black, so A and C. I'm sorry, B and C. Okay, I just want to make sure this matches here. So this little guy and then this little guy. Uh-oh. Blink zoinks! Okay, we have no light, so let's see. Is it a missing ground? Oh, look at that. It's a missing ground. Okay. So not a big deal. Easy peasy. What's this say about the ground? On left rear side of engine compartment, on engine transmission stud below upper coolant hose, G105. Let's find that oil pressure switch. Oh, I've been watching too many Southern videos. I doubt the oil pressure. Oh, okay, so the oil pressure Too many barbecue videos. I think they say oil. You want to put some olive oil. Engine oil pressure switch, left side of engine. That is a sensor, so it is a 3-wire sensor. I was going to say I doubt that it uses a ground, but let's see, number 11. That goes over low reference. Okay, so the low reference for the oil pressure switch comes from the computer, so this has nothing to do with our missing ground here, this G105. Or it's very unlikely to have anything to do with it. Stud below coolant hose. Where you at, you stud? Oh, I see. Ooh. I see some green goblins down there. The green goblins. Oh, girl, you nasty. You nasty. Okay, so that must be it. There's a ground stud on the transmission. There are several of them there. There's one back here. Let me figure out which one it is for real. None of these look great. They're all green and crusty. Yep, we've got one on top of that transmission stud, one on top of this transmission stud. And that's that in a bag of Wheaties. So, if we want to prove this, let's just put a ground to it, start it up, make sure our mass airflow works. And know we have trust issues. Always got to prove it to you, don't I? Let's back probe this little fella. There's that. No sparks. Okay, let's let me reach in there and fire this thing up. Contact. Okay, let's try the scan tool here. Let's see if we miraculously fixed it. Mass airflow frequency, mass airflow, show selected, bada bing, bada boom, grams per second. Hey, well, you know what you say, huh? It's working. And then also just to prove that this did not fix the oil pressure switch, we still have 129 pounds of oil pressure. I don't know if that will set a check engine light. I didn't even look about that. Sometimes oil pressure switches on Chevrolets don't, just be a code stored in there. Unless it's their trucks or the 521 Classic. Mill requested, 102. Yeah, it doesn't say mill, yeah. So I don't believe the 523 code is going to set the engine light. This ignition failed, but it does not say mill requested. So I don't know. We'd have to look in service data to be sure, but. And then you can see mass airflow, circuit low voltage. This ignition passed. So it's happy with it. I'm happy, you're happy. Let's find the background. Well, I was going to take a look and see where the actual ground stud is, but it's kind of one of those, I almost don't care because everything down there is green and nasty, so you got to fix it anyhow. How do I know it's at the eyelet and not a broken wire? I don't. How's that for an answer? We're making a big fat assumption, just like the other shop did. The big wild guess. Based off from experience and pattern failures. How's that? Ricola. There's one. Neutral drop. There's two. Oh, she's hot. Okay. Now that you have both these nuts, I'm going to stick them to the side. I'm going to go through and fix these eyelets that are super green, super crusty. Ah, son of a frig hole. Friggity frig hole. Come around here, old boy. Come on. Some green, some nasty. I don't believe it's this one, but there's not much left for that. See, not long for the world. It's a problem. Here's your main battery cable. Alright. I believe it's this one here. Oh, the little wire's running to it. Nasty. Let me grab a pair of needle nose. Get our spectacles on here so we can speculate. Come on. Get that opened up like that. Give them a very slight wiggle. That wire broke right there. That one was already broke. There's not much holding this one on. There, so yeah. The other one looks the same. Just like Chrysler. I've seen it a million times. Alright, well, what do we have here? We have 3 wires. One completely turned to dust. I'm going to open this up. Put new eyelets on it. Going to do the same thing on this little guy right here. I don't believe this is the one we're after, but pay me now or pay me later. Isn't that what they say? Yeah, this one's definitely more rigid. Yep, this one probably could have stayed. Yep, definitely. But we're going to fix it anyhow. Fix it till it's broke, right? We do it nice, we crimp it twice. So there's that one. There's that one down there. Just waiting for the heat shrink here to cool down. These wires down here are the ones, so the one closest to the front of the engine is the one that runs the mass airflow. I verified that. And they were the nastiest wires. I mean, nasty. When they cool down and get down here, I'll clean this up with a Wizzy wheel, even though it looks pretty clean. And get her put back together and see if we were right. Before we put the air duct and everything back on, we'll see if we were successful. And indeed it was right there at the eyelet where we suspected. I think we have blood. We got blood, boys. Looked at a lot of sharp objects in that area down there. Okay, let's get the key in the full cut on position and see what we have. Okay, the key is on. Don't see any smoke, so that's good. Number 2, number 3, or B, and number C. There we are. We have power. We have ground. Everything we need, nothing that we don't. Throw the tube back on and fire this pig up. Am I going to tape up the entire harness that's missing all the loom? No. Good question though. I'm fixing the problem the customer asked me to fix. On my invoice I will state what I see and my recommended repair, and then I'll move on with my life. That's how you have to do it in a repair shop, folks. I've mentioned this time and time again, but we also get questioned about it often, and I assume it's because people don't watch every single one of our boring videos. But that's why. Okay. Let's cover this battery back up. Those are tight. Oh, it's very tight. Ever one of those? That tab's MIA. Let's get one of these. Still needs an oil pressure switch. But she didn't mention anything about that. It was just the 102 code that was the struggle, and then apparently they couldn't get the screws out of the air filter, so she wanted that looked at as well. See how rusty they are. Looks like just the 3 on top. Yeah, let's give them the old college try. Like a classic T30. Let's just give them a little whack with the Uggy Duggy here. That one's out. That one's out. Oh, I think it's time to find a new shop, lady. Sounds like they're just reading codes and changing parts anyhow. Not too bad. We'll grab the old STP. Give her a slip down in there. Stick this back in the box, see if she wants to take it home. Wind up. Guide it in. There you go, lady. I'll go tell her that shop was right. Just needed an air filter. Not really. Okay, let's see if we were right. Okay, the key is cut on. We're gonna hit read codes. Probably won't be any in there because of the battery disconnect. The money light is not currently on. Okay, we just have our oil pressure code. Let me just raise the RPMs here, see if the oil light comes on. Oddly enough, it is not. We'd have to go back through and look at some data here, which we have to anyway. So we'll go into live data. Oh, it automatically selected what we were last in apparently. Let's see what our oil pressure switch is doing. Like I say, that's not going to be fixed, but I don't think it's going to create an engine light. So right now it's steady. So yeah, likely just a failed sensor. Like I say, a lot of people don't fix them on these cars because it doesn't turn the money light on. Sometimes it will inhibit a drive cycle though. So keep that in mind if you're driving endlessly trying to get that monitor to set so you can get the lick 'em stick 'em. It may not if you have even a non-mil code. So let's see, show selected. Let's see here. Hey, give me just 1 second, James. Hey, look at that exhaust system that's out. Sorry, I just had to talk to a guy there. Let's see there. So yeah, we're running about 4 grams per second. Pretty normal. See what our calculated airflow is. Oh, that's desire. I'm like, how come our RPM so steady? How's that? How's that for you, fella? Well, there you go, lady. That's it. Now she has to drive it and see what's going to become of this, you know, once the drive cycle finishes. So I'm going to leave it at that. No sense going on a test drive or anything. She's waiting. Waiter's going to wait, am I right? Anyhow, I don't want to be waiting for your comment. I want to go down there and read it right now. Insty, the Facebook, we're there too. Ruffling feathers. Quit being spiteful, Eric. Anyhow, folks, just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.